In solo leveling, Choi rides his own flames down to the battlefield, captivating the ants with his overwhelming power. As he lands among them, a nostalgic thought crosses his mind. "It's been a while since I played with ants like this," he muses. "When I was a kid, I used to burn them with a lighter. Back then, they made little popping noises. Now, all I hear are explosions." Looking up, Choi signals to the other hunters. It's safe to come down now. But before they can move, Ma Dong-wook voices his concern. This plan could end up like the last 3 attempts, with no escape route. His warning hangs heavy in the air. But this time, there's an added urgency. The Japanese hunters reveal that they can only hold the ants' attention for an hour at most. Within that window, the Korean team must locate and eliminate the queen. Meanwhile, back on one of the battleships, Sugimoto activates electric jamming waves, disrupting the ants' ability to communicate with their queen. As the signal interference takes effect, Bravo team engages a group of ants. Kanai turns to Kumamoto, irritated by his nervousness. "Stop acting so alarmed before you get yourself killed," she snaps. At the same time, Team Charlie's Zakari observes the battlefield and smirks. "At this rate, we might kill all the ants before the Korean team even reaches the queen." Tatsumi, however, notices something off. "Where's Kenzo?" The answer is unsettling. Kenzo is off on his own, playing with the ants in his own twisted way, ripping the wings off the ones capable of flight. Elsewhere, Team Delta's K freezes several ants with his abilities before noticing something unusual. He gestures toward the entrance of the ant tunnel. "What's with the fireworks over there?" IPA glances at the burning spectacle and chuckles. "Probably Choi Jong-in's doing." Choi Jong-in conjures a blazing net over the entrance of the ant tunnel, explaining that his flame prison is primarily used to restrain enemies. However, he believes that ants ranked below B shouldn't be able to scale the fiery barricade. He then announces that he will search for the entrance, summoning dozens of fireballs and launching them into every opening. Hunter Beck questions his actions, prompting the fire mage to clarify that the tunnels are like a labyrinth. Without proper caution, they could easily get lost. Assuming that the queen resides in a location where an explosion wouldn't be able to reach her, they proceed forward. Meanwhile, back in the city, Jin completes his 10-kilometer run and notices an unusual silence, quickly deducing that the Jeju Island raid has begun. Confident that the hunters are more than capable of handling the situation, he sees no reason to observe the battle himself. On the island, the Korean team is taken aback when they encounter ants with eyes specially adapted to navigating the pitch-black tunnels. Byung-gu turns to Baek, asking if he truly believes the queen is present, pointing out that history has seen many kings abandon their people to escape. Beck, however, dismisses the notion, stating that these are merely ants. They wouldn't possess such a level of intelligence. As they advance deeper into the tunnels, Choi gasps upon spotting an enormous number of eggs scattered throughout the chamber. Declaring that he will incinerate them all, he prepares to unleash his flames. But before he can act, Hunter Cha urgently calls out for him to stop, pointing to a single, unusually large egg among the others. Byung-gu, observing the strange egg, asserts that it's impossible for it to belong to an ant and questions what exactly they are dealing with. At that moment, Baek places a reassuring hand on the healer's shoulder, advising him to focus solely on eliminating the queen and to set aside any distractions. However, internally, Baek acknowledges Byung-gu's unease, silently admitting that the sight is indeed troubling. Team Charlie continues exterminating the ants. Akari teases Kenzo, commenting on his ragged appearance. Kenzo, irritated, responds that the ants were relentless, attacking in well-coordinated formations. He also mentions that he sustained injuries to his shoulder and hip. Akari offers to heal him, but only on one condition. Kenzo, accustomed to her antics, tells her to stop joking and demands to know what she wants. Akari laughs, revealing that this time it's not about money. Kenzo, puzzled, reminds her that she's wealthier than him anyway. Before their exchange can continue, Kenzo suddenly spots approaching ants and tells Akari to stop messing around. However, before she can reply, her head is instantly severed from her body, leaving the two remaining Japanese hunters in shock. Realizing the threat, Kenzo shouts a warning, urging everyone to stay alert. The unseen assailant closes in, and before Kenzo can react, he too is decapitated. Tatsumi, horrified, lets out a battle cry before charging at the enemy with his sword, only to meet the same gruesome fate. With 3 elite Japanese S-rank hunters slain in an instant, the Jeju Island raid takes a grim turn, as the remaining hunters remain unaware of the true terror lurking in the shadows. Dongwook faces off against a royal guard. Each of these elite ants is powerful enough to challenge even S-rank hunters. However, a beast is still a beast, and compared to hunters who utilize a variety of ranged attacks, these ants seem sluggish in comparison. Dongwook calls out to Hunter Cha, who swiftly drives her sword through the ant's skull before slicing through its massive body. Another royal guard lunges at her, but she effortlessly cleaves its head in half before tearing its body apart. She remarks that these creatures are more resilient than she initially expected. Dongwook acknowledges that the royal guards are far superior to ordinary ants, but is relieved that their numbers are limited. Byung-gu reassures the squad that he has their backs. Baek Yun-ho smirks, commenting, "Guess you're not a pushover after all." The healer remains composed, advising the clawed hunter to stop making careless mistakes as he crushes an ant's body. He explains that even after being decapitated, ants can survive for up to 10 minutes, so their limbs must be destroyed as well. Beck observes that they haven't even reached the Queen's chamber yet, and are already encountering royal guards, concluding that these ants likely belong to a previous generation. He theorizes that the first generation of royal guards was demoted, meaning they will soon be up against even stronger second-generation ants and beyond. Byung-gu agrees and reinforces the team with buffs, explaining that they not only enhance the hunter's physical condition, but also enable them to battle multiple enemies at once. One of the hunters asks if that means they should each take on 10 ants at a time. The S-rank healer joins the conversation, stating that his combat ability is on par with an A-rank hunter, and if any enemies remain, he can finish them off. However, Baek dismisses the suggestion, asserting that the buffs are sufficient and that Byung-gu should focus on providing support from the rear. Team Delta advances toward Team Charlie's location. Upon arrival, they stumble upon Fujishima's shattered, blood-stained glasses before discovering his headless corpse. The gruesome sight causes Kei to gag, and he hurriedly pulls off his mask before vomiting. He questions the revolting stench in the air, saying he's never encountered anything like it before. Kei glances toward the woods, suddenly panicking and launching a barrage of ice in that direction, seemingly freezing the entire forest. However, as he peers through the frozen landscape, something slashes him in an instant, leaving behind nothing but bloodied ice shards. Back in the ant tunnels, the Korean team successfully clears another chamber. Baek silently acknowledges Cha Hai-in's overwhelming strength, noting that she has slain twice as many ants as he has in such a short time. Dongwook estimates that they have about 30 minutes remaining, and Cha pinpoints the queen ant and her guards by scent. Baek volunteers to scout ahead, activating his Eyes of the Beast skill to survey the cave and locate the queen along with her 8 remaining guards. Dongwook formulates a strategy to keep the queen occupied while entrusting Cha with the guards. The ultimate soldier then unleashes his Celestial Fire Dragon skill, reducing any ants in his path to ash as he declares that saving mana would be a waste. Suddenly, an ant appears behind him, but Taegu swiftly takes it down with a precise shot, announcing his support from the rear. The beastly hunter agrees with Choi, saying there's no reason to hold back. He then shifts into his monstrous form, tearing through the swarm and annihilating everything in his path.